Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Inspired Marketing Group podcast. My name is David Coughlin, and I'm joined by my co-founder, Richard.
Hello.
So if you watched the first podcast or listened to it, you'll know that was about who the hell we are. So hopefully you know who the hell we are now. But we thought it'd probably be helpful if we told you a bit more about what we do, how it works, how we kind of came to create the Inspired Marketing Group. And I guess the sort of exam question for today's podcast is what's our view on the future of the marketing function, or what's the marketing function of the future look like? Because that's the sort of what we've been trying to address with the Inspired Marketing Group. So to wind right back, I guess let's start with a bit of the origin story and where this sort of business concept came from. And it was driven pretty much by what Richard and I, in a conversation, were sort of thinking about what our futures might look like. So we were both working at Robin Hood Energy, and we were sort of starting to think about what might be next, what might we do next, and did we want to stay in corporate land? Did we want to go and get another job, or did we both sort of targeted the idea of striking out on our own? But I guess there was a few things as we were having this sort of conversation that really came out as kind of a few fundamentals that we wanted to be true, whatever the outcome was. And that was, we wanted to do the work we love. As a client-side marketer, you do a bit of everything, and actually it's quite draining. But so we really wanted to, focus on the stuff we really loved. We wanted to work with great people, and we've spent, longer than we care to think about in meetings, trying to convince stakeholders and colleagues that they should invest in this piece of marketing activity or this, trying to get buy-in to marketing. Marketing's often put a colouring in part, and we really wanted to work with businesses and with organizations that just get marketing, understand it's a driver for growth, it needs commitment and investment, but it's a driver for business rather than a cost center. So we had these sorts of conversations, and I know a big one for you, Richard, was commuting.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I would spend hours in a car, traveling sometimes 2 hours to and from work, and I always thought in the back of my mind it was not necessary. And we've had those conversations where we talk about it quite a lot, where it's like, you marketing boys can work from home 1 day a week, but the world needed to change. And I think, to me, I wanted to be far more productive being based at home, I think. And yeah, the world changed, which really helped us sort of crystallize really the model. Because I guess we went through and we knew what we wanted to do. And in our mind, we knew it would work, but we knew there was going to be some barriers where we would pitch this great concept and we'll get on to how we would describe this business. But we knew when we speak to business about what we're going to do, they'd be like, that's brilliant. But, and there was always going to be that but in terms of, but you're not in the office. And the world changed in many different ways in March. And say your phrase, because I like it.
So obviously March, when COVID hit, was just outrageous, and everybody was shifting from home. But my fundamental belief is, and with every really successful business, it often boils down to sort of three things. And that 10% is a brilliant idea. I'll let you decide whether you think the Inspired Marketing Group is a brilliant idea. I think it's pretty good, but whether it's brilliant or not, we'll find out. I think 10% is hard work. And again, I know Richard and I know we're going to work our asses off in this. But, and you can say what you think, but for me, 80% of what makes a really successful business is dumb luck. And like I said, as horrific as the COVID-19 epidemic has been, for us at the Inspired Marketing Group, it's actually been our dumb luck. So like you said, Richard, we expected to spend a whole bunch of our time having conversations with people that either went nowhere or circular in terms of, okay guys, I think it could work, I'd like to bring some people in with you, but I like people in my business. I want to be able to see the whites of their eyes. I want to make sure that they're working. And obviously over the past year, that door has just been blown wide open. Our personal experience at Robin Hood Energy was, in the space of 3 weeks, a 150-person call centre that went from being 100% desk-based in 2 offices in Nottingham to being 100% remote, all working from home. And that was, if it wasn't mandatory or kind of enforced, that change just would have never, ever happened. But the change for businesses have been absolutely fundamental, but it's also been fundamental for us as individuals. And I guess some of the things that we sort of demanded that we wanted from a business if we set something up have been reflected by everybody wants more flexibility. Everybody wants to be able to do the work they love, do it when they want, do it how they want. And obviously with the change in work patterns and being able to work remotely or flexibly, it's really opened people's eyes to the fact that now they can work really differently. So I guess,
I think, to me, what I was going to say about that, and to kind of like sort of crystallize that in a very succinct sentence, I guess what really matters to a business, deadlines and output matter to businesses, not location. And actually
100%.
that COVID's proven that model completely. You could be sat on a beach in Cornwall, as long as those outputs are quality, on time, and delivered within the scope, it doesn't matter where you are, and it's been proven. And I guess the other side of that is we wanted that, but what the businesses actually want, and sat on our side, almost like within an in-house marketing function, we were all faced with challenges in terms of, right, okay, I've got a short-term problem. What do I do? Well, I can't recruit for a short-term problem. If I can recruit, I go down the traditional contractor route, but I can't get a contractor in for 3 months or 2 months. They want 6 to 12 months. Recruitment's a gamble. My sort of expectation about what I want isn't matched by my budget, and all of this stuff is going on in your head. And I guess this is where the model of the Inspired Marketing Group came from. And we lived and breathed that within the businesses we worked in, where we found a different way of actually solving a problem. And that's the essence of the Inspired Marketing Group and where it came from. And I'll leave you to sort of, to give that in a concise sort of sentence, really.
Sure. So I guess, yeah. So out of all of that, if I was going to describe the Inspired Marketing Group, we've been thrashing this around, but if you're going to describe the Inspired Marketing Group, it's a subscription-based marketing function. We provide a community. We've got a wide community of multidisciplinary experts who can drop into your business exactly when you need them, and there's no long-term commitment. It's this sort of subscription model which gives businesses and people, us, complete flexibility to do the work we love, to do it when we want, but to deliver great work on time for clients. It really does make everybody a winner.
And subscriptions are not new. Subscriptions are happening left, right, and centre. So we personally, we have a subscription-based model with Adobe. We have subscription-based models with music streaming services. We have leases, for want of a better word, with mobile phones, with computer equipment, and we do that because we want the ability to turn it off, turn it on, not have the sunk costs within a business and all the associated costs of repairs or whatever that looks like. And in a weird way, that's the same with employees, in the fact that paying somebody a wage of £30,000 isn't a wage of £30,000. By the time you add on costs on, it's a lot more than that. And in reality, businesses needs ebb and flow. And actually, why pay for people, or why pay for a marketing function as in a pay-per-click specialist, when actually you're only in campaign or an acquisition campaign twice a year? So what is that person doing outside of that? Probably stuff which is outside of their specialism, and probably stuff they don't really want to do in the first place. We went through that in a PR perspective when we tried to build a business case to get a PR person in. It was like, brilliant, we could have got a PR person in, but actually, outside of doing their traditional PR, we might have looked SEO into them just to keep them busy. That's not what they want to do, and that's not, it's not optimal for a business. So this whole idea of having expandable and collapsible teams which move with your business in a dynamic is probably what we craved as in-house marketeers. And it absolutely now works, where you can almost align your team around your marketing plan. And it works. And we're finding it's working from the conversations we're having.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing. It's the macro change in attitudes and behaviour in terms of how they want to resource, or how businesses want to resource themselves. But then it's you want those expertise, but you want them on and off when you want them. And I guess the other thing which is one of the core things that we were talking about when we first sort of kicked this idea around, was working with some great people. So we've now made that's sort of one of our pillars. So we've got values or sort of pillars that underpin our business, and one of them is being community led. So already, I mean, we're almost 3 months old now, Rich. November. Yeah. 3 months old. But in 3 months we've assembled a community of experts, of marketing experts across every discipline. So from graphic design, we've got back-end developers, we've got copywriters, we've got brand strategists, we've got PR people. So we've already got really broad but deep expertise in each of those functions, which is available sort of on, off, as and when clients need it. And that's growing all the time. We interviewed another applicant just before this session, so that the community is growing and growing. And what it offers us is, normally when Richard and I were in a marketing role as a head of or marketing director, we would have a team around us, and then we'd bring in agencies and specialists, and we'd be conducting that orchestra. Now what we can do is we can parachute into a business, we can conduct the orchestra from within our group, and we can drop those skills in and out of a business absolutely when the client needs them. And it means that the folk that we're dropping in there, they're coming in to do exactly the job that they love. They're getting to work with some brilliant brands. They're getting to do it whenever they want, whether that's in the evenings when they put their kids to bed, or it's early in the morning, or they want to work from a cafe, or they want to work from home. It's absolutely working for everybody, and being able to support our community, get them work, help them work with clients that maybe they couldn't access on their own, because we've got a larger sort of group corporate structure that we can deploy. It's really working for our clients, and it's also working for our community, which is just unbelievable.
The two things I want to pick up on that is actually almost the model of how we work, and then almost like the USP of the community as well, because I think that's really, really important. So in terms of how we work with businesses, we try and distill that down into 3 distinct ways of working. So that in a nutshell, they are do it yourself, done with you, or done for you. And if we take them in that order, if you have an existing marketing team, this isn't about replacing your marketing team. It is about actually what you may need is some strategic guidance, some coaching, mentoring, or whatever that looks like. So we can come in via the Inspired Marketing Group, and and you can do it yourself, but we provide the inspiration, the guidance, the strategy about how you can achieve what you want to achieve. We'll help monitor, do that, work with your team to achieve that. But in essence, you do it yourself. You've got a team there.
Yeah. We've got a client, right? Already we're working with a client like that. So I'm going in and doing some proposition stuff. I'm coming up with the concept, but the marketing team are doing it. So they're executing it, and I'm helping to drive that.
Yeah, and equally, we've got another client and actually probably we've got a client in each one of these working models. So working with another client, which is done with you. So they have an existing market team. They have a bandwidth issue in the fact that they've got a new acquisition. They haven't got the capacity to do what they need to do. So they've brought us in to do the thinking, to do the creativity around how they can actually execute this campaign, the messaging, the copy, and and almost like the development of the landing pages and the lead flows and all of that kind of stuff. But in essence, what we then do is once it's done and signed off, we hand it over to their team and they implement it. So they'll build the emails, they'll build the landing pages, but the hard graft, if you want to call it that, has been done by us. So we've done the grunt work. They literally just bring it to market. And then the final one is done for you. So, and sorry, just going back to the other one actually, and that could just be a specialist role. So that might just be, so done with you, you have a team, we just bring somebody in who is a specialist on SEO or something like that to help your team. So we can furnish your team with talent. And the final one is done for you, where you may not have a marketing team, but you want one, but you can't afford one for whatever that reason that is, or the person you want, you can't get into your business. And we're working with another client where we've come in and Dave's actually working almost like as a part-time marketing director to set the strategy, set the vision. Brilliant, love all of that. Well, who do I execute? Well, actually, we can bring in these people to do that for you. And that's on a 3-month rolling contract. And actually that flexes and changes. And we've been through 3 months. We've just renewed, but actually the team we're delivering within that business now has changed because the needs have changed. And actually that goes back to the nutshell of what we're trying to achieve. If you'd have hired those 3 people permanently, after 3 months, you wanted to change the direction of the business, not the strategy, just what you need. You can't, you've got 3 people, but you need 2 others. Actually, the model just allows that complete flexibility to businesses. So that's the model, which I think works. Anything to add on that, Dave?
No, it's perfect. I mean, that's it, right? It's that flexibility, complete dynamism. No long contracts. It's and it works for everybody.
And then the other one to me is about the community. So we work with marketing businesses or ex-client side marketeers who have set up their own business, and that may be because they were doing lots of stuff, but they just turn around and say, do you know what? I don't like strategy. I just want to write copy. That's what sets my soul on fire when I do stuff. I just want to do SEO. And they naturally go and set their own business up, and then they're in this big wide world of trying to sort of generate leads. We work with these businesses to help fill their days. And crucially to us, the difference, you've almost got 3 models, working sort of employment models. You've got the full-time in-house, great. You've got contractors, and you've got our kind of model where contractors are typically looking 6, 12 months contract, which provides them with financial security. The businesses we're looking for don't necessarily want that. If they've got capacity and you need that, then they may deliver that. But the majority of our sort of community members are looking for what variety, 1 to 2 days of doing what they love within a multiple number of businesses. And that's where the flexibility completely builds for everybody, because they get the flexibility of multiple clients and multiple sort of inspiration and work. You as a business don't need to sign a 6-month contract with one contractor. You can just get them. And actually we have, going back to one of our values actually about honesty, we have these conversations daily. Someone will come to us and go, yeah, we need somebody 5 days a week. Do you actually need them 5 days a week? Because actually we think what you want could be done in 3. And we in effect lose out potentially, but it goes back to one of our sort of core values about honesty, is that we would much sooner deliver what we want rather than taking what we can take, for want of a better word.
Yeah, but similarly, and I think the honesty thing is important as well, because it's, I think you sort of talked about this, where businesses will have values and they'll write stuff on the wall, and honesty is always, it's one of these things where, honest with each other, with our clients, with our customers, blah, blah, blah. It's lip service, right? But I think for us, it's this sort of, this honesty, but what we call radical honesty, is something which we want to be, embedded in our everything we do, in how we talk with prospects, with clients, with our community, with everything. Everybody knows what's happening straight up front. And I think the one example we had the other day where a client came to us, they wanted this. We said, okay, and you've got 10K to spend. I don't think what you want you're going to be able to have for that money. And it's not a case of we're trying to get more money out of the client, we could take the 10 grand off them, but we'd know in the back of our heads that it wouldn't deliver what the client wanted. So much better to have conversation up front and say, look, for everything that you want, I'm not sure your budget is enough, or maybe, we're not the right people to work with you. But if you wanted this, then maybe we could deliver that. But at least the client knows and they can make a decision. And then in the end, the client decided, they wanted to go and do something else. But we would much rather operate as humans, be honest with people and open and transparent, and tell them what the situation is, rather than just take in money. We're not in this to make millions of bucks. We're in here to earn the money that we deserve. Like all of our experts, we want to pay them the money they deserve.
I want to do stuff I love. That's what I'm for. I want to do stuff I love, and it could be quite easy to take that brief, take the 10 grand, and just go, well, I did deliver. Ethically, that doesn't sit with me. That's not the business we are. And like you say, much better, as you said, to be honest and lose that contract. At that initial conversation stage, than take money off, because ultimately you're going to lose it anyway, because you'll take that money and they'll never come back anyway. So actually, why not just be honest, because we're all humans at the end of the day. So
and I guess, so while we're talking on those our values, so we've had radical honesty, we've had the community led, fanatical. I think you mentioned this earlier, actually, Rich. We want, marketing lights a fire in us, and we want to do the stuff that lights a fire in us, but also for our community. We want people to come and work with us, who love what they do, absolutely love it. And similarly, for our clients, we want to work with clients that absolutely love what they do. They jump out of bed every day. They're really excited about their business, about what they can achieve, about the things they can do. We love working with people who are passionate, and that's really important for us, because if you care, then we'll care. And when we care, we'll go above and beyond, and we'll love delivering results. And like Richard said, if we can do work that we love for people we like, I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that, right?
Do you know what I love is the fact that when you start talking about marketing, you visibly start talking quicker and passionately about it. but that's it. That's the thing. We love it. And actually, we want, like you said, we want to work with businesses. And a random story, actually, and this probably goes way off kilter, but it always reminds me of when we were at a different company, and one of the MDs was like, I watch people walk down a path to a job interview, and I immediately decide whether I'm going to give them the job. Because if they're sort of sauntering along and just like, they haven't got the pace and the guile and it's not about running into the office, but it's just, you've got to have something about you. And actually, that's what we do with our community, is the fact that our community isn't a free-for-all, is the fact that we cultivate it, and we interview people in effect to join that community, and we want to see the passion, because if you're passionate about it, you'll deliver, and actually you'll deliver for the customer will come back. Everybody wins in that. And fanatical about marketing, that's probably the biggest feedback I get, is they're just like, God, you love it, don't you? And I'm like, and that's what we want our community to be like. And equally, you don't need to love marketing as a CEO for us to work with you. You just need to know that it plays a fundamental part in your business growth and survival, and then we can bring that passion for you. So,
And I guess that neatly segues into our fourth and final sort of pillar of our value, which is we inspire. So I guess hopefully you could kind of see how we're trying to inspire you with this. We're trying to excite you about stuff. We also try to excite our community. We try to excite our clients. We try to get people thinking differently about how they can do things creatively, how can they deliver amazing results, how they can we want to do things differently. We want to think laterally. We want things to be exciting and interesting, because I don't get out of bed to do the same thing every day. I get out of bed to do something which inspires me, which interests me, which excites me.
And I guess to be honest, one last thing from me is almost that situation of, I think we've got a great proposition. And in fact, I know it is, because actually the feedback we're getting from the people who are on board, the clients we're talking to at the moment, that they completely get it. And a one-off project, a longer term sort of ownership of a deliverable, like an acquisition campaign, whether it's coaching or mentoring for your rising star, whatever that looks like, even a longer term. We need a head of marketing in our business for 6 to 12 months. We've got people who love marketing, who can help deliver for your business. So yeah, get in touch with like that. From a community point of view as well, all of these great freelance marketeers who are taking their first steps into self-employment. The community is there to help, support, guide. Nobody has to figure this freelance world out alone. Join the community. Sharing is the motto within there. People, sharing business terms. The conversation we had before this, I just had to write website terms. Don't need to. We've got some, just use them as your base copy, change some of it. That's what we're trying to create in this community. So it's great for businesses, and it's great for freelance marketeers.
Super. So that's it. So that's basically what we believe the future of the marketing function should look like. We would love to hear what you think. Whether you agree, whether you think we've got a brilliant idea, or whether we've got a dumb idea. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe. I think we're on YouTube, on Apple, on what's the other one? Android, Play Store. So I'm an Apple fanboy. Sorry. So get wherever you get your podcast, get subscribed. It'd be great to hear from you. If you're a client and you'd like to speak to us about maybe working with us, then visit imgroup.co.uk, the imgroup.co.uk. And if you are a marketing expert on, of any, in any field, then again, get in touch, theimgroup.co.uk/join, fill in the form, tell us a little bit about you, and then Richard and I will schedule a call and we'll have a chat and see if you're a good fit for the group. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your time, Rich. Great to chat as always. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.